you will be alone. No family, no money, no lawyer. Just you, standing before Allah, and a command that your feet cannot move from that spot until you answer 5 specific questions. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us exactly what those 5 questions would be over 1400 years ago. Today, I'm breaking each one down in order, and the 3rd question is the one almost no Muslim is ready for. The first question is the widest one. It is about your entire life, from the day you learned to speak until the moment your heart stops beating. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said in a hadith recorded in Sunan at-Tirmizi, hadith number 2416, narrated by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, that the feet of the son of Adam will not move on the day of judgment until he is questioned about his life and how he spent it. So picture this: the record of every year, every season, every ordinary Tuesday afternoon of your life unrolls in front of Allah. Not the highlight reel, not the edited version you posted online, the real thing, including the long stretches where nothing important happened except the fact that you were alive and Allah was keeping you alive. Your life is not yours. That is the Islamic position. Your heartbeat was alone. Your lungs were rented. Your years were an amana, given to you by the one who created you. And now, he is asking for the receipt. Many people think that as long as they didn't hurt anyone, their life counts as well lived. But Surat An-Mulk, verse 2, is direct. Allah created death and life to test which of you is best in deeds. The whole thing was an examination, not a holiday. Did you pray? Did you remember Him? Did you use the time you were given to get closer to Allah or further from Him? The Prophet said in another authentic narration that 2 blessings are wasted by most people: health and free time. Both sit inside this first question, and both are about to be on the table. If the foundation is hollow, the rest of the audit becomes very difficult, very fast. But before we get to the question that shakes people, Allah asks about a specific slice of your life: the years that carry the most weight. Notice something strange about the order. Question 1 already covered your whole life, from start to finish. So why would Allah single out your youth and ask about it separately? The classical scholars explain it like this: youth is the peak of everything. Your energy, your ambition, your desires, and your capacity to either resist Allah or obey Him. The years between roughly 15 and 35 are when the heart is loudest, the body is strongest, and the temptation is sharpest. Whatever you build during those years sets the direction of the rest of your life. So imagine Allah replaying your youth in front of you. The nights you stayed out when you knew you shouldn't have. The lectures you scrolled past. The hours of raw energy you poured into fitness, fashion, and online status while your prayers happened half asleep, if at all. The vitality He gave you, measured against what you actually did with it. The Prophet said in Sahih al-Bukhari that one of the 7 types of people Allah will shade on a day when there is no shade except His is a young person who grew up in the worship of Allah. Why specifically a young person? Because a 60-year-old who prays is giving Allah something that isn't hard to give anymore. A 20-year-old who prays is fighting his own body, his own friends, and his own desires to make it happen. That kind of worship is rare, and Allah pays back in rare currency. If you are young right now, this question falls on your head specifically. The time you are burning on noise is the exact currency that buys the highest ranks of paradise. And if your youth has already passed, there is nowhere to hide. Because the third question does not care how old you are. It targets something almost every adult has, and almost no one has audited. This is the question that will shake you. And here is why. Out of the 5, wealth is the only category that gets asked about twice. First, where did it come from? Then, where did it go? No other matter in the audit gets that level of scrutiny. Think about what that means. Allah opens your full financial history, your salary, your side business, that one deal you don't like to talk about, the gig you took when you were broke, the investments you made without ever asking a single question about whether the money inside that company was clean. And the question is not, how much did you make? The question is, where did it come from? The Prophet described a man in Sahih Muslim who travels a long distance, covered in dust, raising his hands to the sky, begging Allah for help. But the food in his stomach was haram. His clothes were bought with haram money. His whole body was nourished by unlawful gains. So the Prophet asked, how will that man's dua ever be answered? Read that again. Allah is describing a man who is literally crying out to him, and the answer is blocked by the source of his income. Now put yourself in that scene. Did you cheat in business? Inflate an invoice? Sell something you knew was faulty? Take riba from a loan and tell yourself it was unavoidable? Invest in a company you suspected but never checked? Withhold a worker's wage because you could get away with it? Accept a bribe dressed up as a gift? This is why the question breaks people, because almost nobody has lived a fully clean financial life. Even serious Muslims, people who pray in the front rows of the masjid, who fast, who donate, rarely audit the source of the money they are donating with. They fix the roof while ignoring the foundation. And here is the trap. Many people assume that charity washes haram money. It doesn't. The Prophet said, Allah is pure and only accepts what is pure. You cannot build a masjid with stolen wealth and expect it to count in your favor. The source has to be clean before the act has any weight. One thing before we move on. Wealth itself is not the sin. The Prophet traded. Abu Bakr, Uthman, and Abdur Rahman ibn Auf were among the wealthiest men of their time, and Allah praised them. The sin is in how the wealth was earned. Wealth is a test, not a crime. And the third question is only the first half of that test. The fourth closes the trap completely. Even if your wealth was earned through clean, halal means, that still does not make it fully yours to do whatever you want with. Your receipts come out, your subscriptions, your impulse buys, your luxury upgrades, the thing you bought because your friend had one. Each item is measured against one question. Did it do what the trust was supposed to do? Islam does not ban enjoying money. You can eat good food, dress well, give your family a comfortable life, own a nice home. The Prophet himself wore the best clothes he could afford on Eid and Fridays. Comfort is not the issue. The issue is whether you met the conditions attached to the trust. Did you pay your zakat properly, or did you calculate it in a way that favored you? Did you give sadaqah consistently, or only when someone was watching? Did you help your relatives when you had the capacity, or did you hide behind, "I'm saving for the future"? Did you spend freely on yourself while your neighbor couldn't afford food? Surah Al-Furqan, verse 67, praises the believers who, when they spend, are neither wasteful nor miserly, but balanced between the two. Both extremes fail the audit. The miser fails because he hoarded what was meant to move. The show-off fails because he burned it on ego. Your spending is a lie detector for your heart. You can say you love Allah with your tongue, but your bank statement reveals what you actually worshipped. You can say you care about the poor, but your giving records expose whether that care was real or a Ramadan-only performance. On the Day of Judgment, your money stops belonging to you and becomes a witness, for you or against you. Right now, today, you decide which one. The last question is not, how much did you know? It is, what did you do with what you knew? So imagine Allah playing back every lecture you ever listened to, every khutbah, every Islamic book you finished or half finished, every ayah you memorized for an exam and forgot the day after, every reminder someone sent you, every post you shared to look pious. All of it replayed. And one question is asked: did any of it change you? Knowledge in Islam is weight, not decoration. It is not there to make you sound clever in conversations or win arguments in the comments. It is a load you agreed to carry the moment you picked it up. The Prophet described a scholar on the Day of Judgment whose intestines will be dragged out and who will circle them the way a donkey circles a mill, because he taught knowledge he did not act on. That is the image the Prophet chose, and he chose it for a reason. Here is the trap very few people see. The more you learn, the more you are accountable for. Ignorance of a ruling is lighter than hearing the ruling and ignoring it. Every reminder you consumed but did not apply is quietly being written down as a case against you, not for you. The standard is brutally simple. Did you live what you learned? Did the sunnah of the Prophet show up in how you treated your wife, your parents, your employees, the cashier at the store? Or did it stay locked inside your head while your life moved in a completely different direction? These 5 questions are not a surprise exam. The syllabus has been published for over 1,400 years. You know the questions. You know the examiner. The only thing still open is the answer you are writing right now, with every single day you are given. If you want to see more, click the video on screen.